Okay, right, let's get sorted.
Two Noobs F1 presents two noobs on a mission to entertain and to get to 100,000 subscribers. Make sure you keep watching Two Noobs F1 and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, right, let's get sorted. Got my knee crushed here. Right.
What are we talking about today?
Hello, Tony. How are we?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good.
Yeah, healthy and all that shit?
No, just good.
Cool. Well, where's it going? Is that tracking me? Okay, anyway, shall we start again?
Is it tracking? I don't think it is tracking.
No, it's not tracking, is it? No. Hold belly in. Start again. All right. Hello, Tony. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, yeah?
Good.
So, obviously we're still trying to progress the channel, so we thought we'd just drop another video with a quick discussion about Lawson.
Lawson, yeah.
And Tsunoda, and maybe a bit more about Ferrari in terms of, like, apparently they got a new floor coming in for Japan, obviously with their escapades.
Because they scraped all the other one off.
It's even lighter. So yeah, I mean, thoughts on Tsunoda and Lawson?
I don't know. It's a mixed bag because being a Red Bull fan, I wanted Lawson to have another shot at a track he knows, like so he knows Japan. So I wanted him to have the shot at Japan. I think the first two races, the first one he had some issue with his gearbox in practice, so he didn't get practice. So he was on the back foot for that. And I think he had a lot less running in China as well, due to some unforced errors. And then obviously the China race itself, he was testing out a different setup. So I just feel like it wasn't fully his driving that cost him that. It wasn't his fault that some of the situations happened.
I think I agree with all that, by the way. I think that the fact that Red Bull already said cut races, obviously, you know, unfamiliar tracks, you know, and all this sort of thing. I think they've kind of not stabbed him in the back, but I think they might have set his career back a little bit. Yeah, his confidence anyway.
His confidence. Well, at least he's gone to AlphaTauri, which if we look at someone else who did the same was Gasly, world champ Gasly.
World champ.
He's spent many years now. Still in Formula One, and has gone through from AlphaTauri to Alpine. So he's done well with his career in that. Yeah, he's not winning massive amounts of races, and he's not got like championship hopes.
There, though,
but he's still got a job, and he's still getting paid. Yeah. Unlike Perez now, but yeah, I feel like they said they didn't want to make the mistake they made with Perez and dragged it on for too long. I think there was a bit of pressure there from Honda because of the Japanese Grand Prix coming up.
Some big money can exchange.
I think it was like I think they was already paying him 10 million. They said they was already paying Red Bull 10 million to have him in the AlphaTauri seat, and they was going to double it for putting him in the Red Bull seat. So
I feel sorry for Lawson because I don't think, you know, he's had a rub of the green. Yeah, I think technically, you know, the car, you know, the unfamiliar tracks, and you know, you think that he would a track that he knows fairly well, he'd have, you know, had a bit of a go at least. But I think
he must be sighing relief though that at least he's still in AlphaTauri.
Yeah, he's probably.
AlphaTauri.
You know, as we said last week, you know, this is Max's car. This is not like a typical Formula 1 car. This is built around.
So I actually read. I was watching. No, I didn't read it. I watched a YouTube video, and there was a guy explaining in it how the car is built, and so like we were saying, it's built around Max. But what the guy was saying is it's not built around Max specifically, it's built around the wind tunnel data saying it's faster that way, and Max just prefers it that way. Whereas he's saying, so you put it more pointed to the nose, so there's a lot of downforce towards the nose, it's more pointy on the nose. And he's saying, and then some drivers then can't handle that car being like that, so they start dialing it backwards. So that then they don't want to give less confidence. They're saying it's more beneficial that the driver has confidence than the car being fast on paper, but it's just that Max can handle the car being fast on paper
with that setup.
and has that and with that setup and has that confidence. So that's why it sort of gears around the back car is built around Max. I think Adrian Newey even said it himself. Like the car is built to be fast, and Max can just handle it that way.
Let's hope that Red Bull not going to lose Max for like
I think he'll be gone.
Three races or something during the season.
I think
no one else would be able to drive that car, will they?
Who is it that said it? Was it Bernie?
He goes off with like chronic flu or something.
Yeah, they said currently the 10th fastest team if you get rid of Max.
Yeah. It's madness, isn't it? Absolute madness.
But,
that's the danger of building a car radio.
It's almost like a catch-22 for me in my being a fan that I want the second driver to do well because it will help with Max. It will help with pulling the other drivers back. If it says Tsunoda is right behind Max and say Lando was behind them, it pushes Lando back more. Or whoever's fighting for the championship pulls them back more if Tsunoda's there. But on another, I don't want that to happen for maybe one or two races because on the other side, I want it to show that actually the car was difficult and it wasn't Lawson's fault.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think that they need a wingman because they lost the constructors because of Perez was nowhere to be seen. So they need someone that can pick up second places, third places, fourth, but at least top four.
Yeah,
regularly on that, throughout the season. And last year they suffered from that. Really and truly they should have had the constructors, but underperforming Perez just let them down.
Yeah.
But again, I think the car could be the undoing. I just don't think I'll see Verstappen at Red Bull much longer.
2026, I think he'll be gone. I think I've got a sneaky feeling he'll go to.
Mercedes is the favourite.
I think Toto's just said he's got
Aston Martin. I think.
Yeah, I think Toto's just ruled 2026 out.
Yeah.
For Max, and I think Aston Martin because that's where the under engine's going. And that's where Adrian Newey is going.
Yeah. Also, is there
already
working on the car probably.
And so I think 2026 that's where Max will go.
Yeah, and I think Red Bull then.
Decent engine.
They've got to design a new car, haven't they? Red Bull.
Yeah, pretty much. They're getting a new engine from Ford, and they've got
which is an unknown.
Which is an unknown. So,
I think
I'm sort of half and half. I like Red Bull, but I want to see Max obviously win a couple more championships before he steps down because I don't think it will long before I think 2028 maybe. He'll be done.
It's that hunger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hamilton's got the hunger. Alonso's got the hunger, but no tools.
Yeah.
That's whether Verstappen feels that he needs to prove a point.
Yeah, I know that he loves like the other stuff. He loves like the Le Mans driving and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think even like a NASCAR, that's another different experience.
He loves all that stuff. He loves just driving in general. Yeah. And so so I'm half and half. I'll be happy if Tsunoda's up there, as long as Lawson is as well.
Yeah. I think can you imagine if Lawson?
If Lawson's at the back of the pack again, then he's on him. That's on him. That's on him.
But imagine if he's ahead of Tsunoda.
Tsunoda's got a task because Lawson already knows pretty much the car.
But they reckon that didn't Tsunoda do some sims?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, apparently he did some sim trials and he's pretty fast.
Yeah, but they were saying his style is a bit like Max's. His style is a bit like Max's. That's the only issue. That's the only worry. The only worry I've got as well with it is, how much is he going to fight Max? Like, is he going to be?
I think because he can be quite.
He can be quite aggressive. Can't
he? But I think he'll be not told. He'll be told not to. I think the moment he starts pulling the trigger, I think he'll be reined in.
Yeah.
Unless he's visibly quicker.
Then obviously then let him through. But because he can be quite feisty.
Yeah. Unpredictable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Quite an angry driver. He's always swearing on.
He's raging.
So you're going to have two angry drivers.
He's got the tools.
Well, it's in his hands now, isn't it? If he messes up, he can't then be given the big I am.
Yep. Exactly. So hopefully, I want to see him do well because I quite like the driver.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a character. He's really short. Do you know what I mean? Well, there is.
It's for sure.
But yeah, so I think on that front, I think it's going to make the race Japan going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and the
Really
thing is so Max dropped. I always talk about Max, but Max dropped a point to Lando in the whole Chinese weekend.
Yeah.
In that car, I think was a good sort of
result.
Yeah, it was a good result for Red Bull and Max. I think, like I said, for me, they've just got to get to Spain, I think. And I think then that the tide's going to change again at Spain. I've just got the feeling the tide's going to change again at Spain.
I think it'll be even tighter. I think it'll be Ferrari would expect them to be back in it.
I think McLaren will get rain back in.
I think I don't know.
They will. They will. So I read a post yesterday. I think it might have been the FIA that posted it, or someone posted it, and it was to do with something from the FIA, and it said that McLaren was pegged back because of the mini DRS rule. They lost speed because of it. So
how much speed? That's the thing.
I didn't read the full thing. I was rushing around doing something, and I just saw the headline that it come up on. It was yesterday. It come up, and it just said info from the FIA is that McLaren was pegged back in speed from the mini DRS thing. I think I commented before I headed out the door. It wasn't just speed. It's not just about the speed. It's also about the tyre wear.
Yeah, it's taking it.
Yeah, because they have to set a higher downforce. They're going to lose speed because they have to set a higher downforce, and then to protect the tyres. If they don't, then they're going to have.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? But this is what it's all about: pushing limits.
Yeah, that's it. And I think if they've lost speed because of the mini DRS, just think what they're going to lose on the front flaps.
I don't know. It depends how much of a gap they had, before that. If it was a second or something.
Yeah.
Then,
I think we're not going to know until probably around round 6.
Yeah.
I think around all the tracks that we're coming up to are some more specific towards others.
Yeah.
So I know Japan is quite abrasive track, and it depends if it's raining. Sometimes it rains in Japan, doesn't it?
That's going to be
quite a lot.
Quite a leveler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's going to make it really interesting. It probably will be the wettest weekend ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think for that, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. And then what time is it to start?
6.
6 in the evening. In the morning.
We're getting all the flyways. All the flyways
get out of the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll obviously be live, covering that live with our. Now we've got the tracker.
Yeah.
So
got the tracker.
you guys can watch it go around in circles, while we're probably fall asleep again.
So I've not read nothing about upgrade. I tend not to really read a lot about into the upgrades because all you get is posts of. It used to happen with Mercedes a lot. All last season, Mercedes was new upgrade coming from Mercedes is going to blow everybody away, and literally every other post was that.
Speculation, isn't it?
Yeah. Every post was that, and I think the same. I've not heard anything about the Ferrari floor, but I'm presuming.
Yeah, well, apparently it's been ready for Suzuka, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
they've got to do something to stop faffing around with the car.
Well,
and,
I mean, the DNFs.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, isn't it? Really.
I mean, they're already on the back foot now because of that. I think.
I was talking about the radio messages as well, weren't they? That the FIA messed around with that, so that they didn't show.
Yes. Yeah.
But
we heard that. We heard that though, didn't we?
I'm sure we did. Yeah.
Yeah, because we heard the commentators say Lewis has just asked to let Charles Charles through.
Which is.
So we already knew that even before the message. So I never even going away after. I never thought Lewis was being told to and he wasn't or whatever.
Yeah.
I knew that Lewis had said let him through.
That was it. So I don't know what the fuss is about, to be honest, but
well,
it's sport, isn't it? It's full get all of it.
So, what's your prediction for Japan?
I think McLaren.
You reckon?
Yeah. I think McLaren.
I think Max.
Nah. It depends on weather.
Max.
Yeah, see what.
I think that's probably in my head. I'm thinking it's going to be wet. Yeah. I've not looked at the things yet, but in my head, I'm thinking it's going to be wet. Max loves Japan. Absolutely one of his favourite tracks, and I just feel like Max will have that edge there.
I think Mercedes will be there somewhere because they're quite steady at the moment.
Yeah. Cool track, Mercedes will be there.
And I think that Ferrari have got a lot to prove. You know, that after the letdown of China, they've got to regain their sort of bit of pride. Stop faffing around the car. There's no sprinters there on this one, is there? So it's just straightforward. Practice quality.
So at least they'll get time to set up the cars, which is good for Sonoda because he gets that. That practice. But that's something Lawson didn't have in China. Like he was straight into.
I know.
So
I feel a little bit upset for him, but it is what it is.
At least for me, at least he's not been booted out.
Yeah.
At least he's because if that was me, if I was in Lawson's position, I'd be like, as long as I've got to drive and I can prove myself in this car.
Yeah.
Gasly seemed happy enough.
He's probably never going to go back to a top team.
Yeah. So if you look at Lawson's with Hadjar now, but Lawson's got 11 drives under his belt. I think Lawson will take over the team being the first driver. Yeah. I think that's how. And so for me, like I said, if I was Lawson, I'd be like, you know what, I'm going from a second driver where I'm not going to be able to fight my teammate to being a first driver.
I think there's obviously with Red Bull going through like Albon and all the rest of it.
That's the one they shouldn't let go.
Yeah.
That's the one they shouldn't let go.
It's a weird one, isn't it? They just sometimes they give too much time, and other times they don't give enough time.
They give Perez way too much time. They give Albon not enough. I think Albon had quite like a season and a half, but they just didn't give him enough time.
I think when he had a bit of a bad patch, he'd had quite a good patch with them as well. So
he had a good patch. I think the bad patch he went through, I think twice Lewis Hamilton knocked him off.
Yeah.
One of them was in Brazil, I remember that. Yeah. So it was almost like Lewis had destroyed his career for him.
And it's a shame because Albon's not a bad driver.
Yeah, and he's a good character. He's definitely someone I support.
Yeah, I like him.
Seeing him do well.
You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting because again, Williams are picking up the pace a bit. They could be
really good on the straight line the last couple of years, aren't they?
They could be quite difficult to beat.
If they can get their aero package together, they're going to be.
Yeah. Especially going around the corners. Just get around the corners quicker.
If they can get their aero package down because they're quick in a straight line.
Quick in a straight line, a little bit not so quick in the turns, but I think at the end of the day, it's all open.
Yeah.
It's just like, will McLaren be pegged back this race? Probably not.
No, I think it's gonna happen slowly. And then I think I got this feeling come Spain, it's going to be a big.
All depends for me is whether they know their car. You know what I mean? Where I'm not convinced Red Bull know where their car's going at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment. But the one thing that sits in my mind with the whole McLaren thing is I'm sure they said they put on a front wing early last season. They put on a front wing. They said we've got some upgrades coming. We've got a new floor. We've got a front wing, and they took forever to put the new floor on. If you remember, it took them ages to put the new floor on because they said, we're winning, we don't need to mess with the car. And that all started because they wanted to start with the front wing and follow the airflow back. Now, if that front wing was the flexi front wing at the time, and then they've upgraded that car based on that airflow, how much of those upgrades are going to not work going backwards? That's what's in my head. Yeah. Whether it's a thing or not, that's what's in my head is if they've built that car based on that front flexi wing, and that front flexi wing is going.
Possibly. Time will tell.
Time will tell. That's why I'm looking. That's why Spain is the one I'm waiting for. And that's why I keep saying, for me, Max just has to bide his time to Spain.
It's going to be, but as long as Red Bull know what they're doing, which I'm not sure they are.
At the moment, no.
I think they're a little bit. At the moment, no. I think like we said last time about Newey, the Newey factor. Yeah. It's almost like they've just lost the way.
The thing is with all of that is they're going from how Newey worked to having to sort of now go how Washi works. Yeah. And
at the moment,
is he more in because Newey was more old school with the sketch pads and all that stuff and then
but with a wealth of experience.
With a wealth of experience,
and also nailed the rules.
And that's
push the rules to the boundary.
That's why I think Aston's going to be good.
Yeah. I don't think they'll be this season. I think they're probably going to write it off.
Yeah, I think, and that's what they should do.
You know what I mean? They just
do it Braun.
Because there's no way that from their car last year to be a championship winning car this year is no way.
No, they need to do a Braun.
Yeah,
they need to do a Braun.
Just right this year off.
And that's I think I do believe that's what won it for Braun was that year. Button was at 1,000 to 1 to win the championship.
Yeah.
In the odds, I remember it. He had no drive. He was 1,000 to 1 to win the championship.
Crazy, isn't it?
That was some bet.
Crazy ugly cars as well. They were terrible, weren't they?
Yeah, when you look up now with the little skinny wings at the back.
It was like small and compact.
You look like bookshelves.
It's like, Jesus
back.
Christ, we're racing them down. And now it's like they're low down, they're all flat. And
I think the next year's cars are a little bit smaller as well.
Yeah. Well, they need to be, don't they? Need to be.
It's crazy how they kept bloody Monaco. Why are you keeping Monaco on them?
It's prestige.
It's
the prestige.
I know, but it's just write it off. Don't give anyone points. Just drive around them.
Unfortunately, it's the prestige of it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the board, isn't it?
But no one seems to be able to work a way of making it more competitive. Do you know what I mean? Because say you take that S out, from the tunnel, and you think, well, that gives you half a chance. You can steam up there, but then there'll be some health and safety.
Well, you see the barrier. There's a barrier in there that comes. So if you're going down, you could end up hitting that barrier at full speed. I think
it's
that's
tough. We're talking about around the top before the tunnel. They was looking to extend around that way, but
didn't they used to do that in the old one?
But
I'm sure
nothing's been done about it. It just seems like they're quite happy
the worst track.
For qualifying.
Worst track.
Short of breaking down.
Yeah, it is the worst one.
Yeah,
it's the one that I don't look forward to watching.
I like the razzmatazz, and I like the idea, because if we can afford it, we'd definitely go.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely, that's one of the ones to go to.
And we go, boo!
That's one of the ones, just because of, like you said,
it's the prestige.
The prestige of it.
You know what I mean?
But it's one that I hate watching. Like being there in the moment, it'd be nice, and I think that's what's hung it on so much, is that they just love being there.
Yeah, it's the venue, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they all know that there's not a race.
Yeah, no. I mean,
it's mandatory 2 pit stops this time.
That will make it a little bit interesting. Yeah. That might save its bacon.
But Bernie,
you just go it early.
Bernie, I've forgotten a second name.
Yeah.
She said she reckons if someone's at the back, they'll just go in and then just put hards on.
Yep.
And then when everybody else is... But what's stopping them doing that now?
Yeah.
What's stopping them doing that now?
I think it's going to be interesting, because who's going to be the brave team to just duck in and do that? Yeah. And just go to the end.
When I used to play with Wayne on F1, if I was at the back of the pack, sometimes if I knew it was going to be a one-stop race, sometimes I could put the odds on. I would do that.
Just limit it.
Rather than being caught up behind people.
Yeah. Should be interesting.
It's going to be good. Looking forward to Japan. Do the live on that.
We'll probably do a video pre, depending on the qualifying, even, if I could talk. And then we'll just cover the race and do a quick post race. So I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts, guys, on what we're talking about. Do you agree, disagree?
And,
good to know. We're just trying to grow this channel at the moment. We're trying different things, not having the laptops there this time, not having the mics, using these mics instead.
Change of venue every time, you know what I mean? But
I've got my Bottas.
Bottas.
So let us know your thoughts, guys.
Okay.
Peace out.
Peace out.